Okay, so before you test next week on Word, there's a few things I want to go over. Even though most of this we've gone over before, I just want to point it out to you. So let's start at the beginning. On the File tab, you have Document Properties. This is where you can add a title, you can add tags, you can add comments. It'll tell you who the authors are. It'll give you lots of information. You can go into Advanced, and it'll give you a chance to go in and do a few more things. You can have a document panel shown, which will put it up here, so you could comment there as well. For most of the things you need to add, all you need to do is go into File, click on the box, and add it. Also on here, you can protect your document. You can mark it as final. You can restrict editing. If you click Restrict Editing, and there are other ways to get into this, it allows you to change. You can allow certain types of editing. You can track fields. You can only allow comments. You can make it filling out forms. You have a lot of things you can control. Once you control it and start it with a password, you need to make sure you remember that password. Also, if they are telling you to go into options, that is also under the file. You have general options, display options, proofing. You've got a lot of options, so anytime you're looking at options, you're under the File tab as well. First, we're going to look at themes. Themes are different than styles. Up here, you have all kinds of document styles. You also have document themes. Just be careful what they're paying attention to. Notice as I mouse over, different print, and they each have different things attached to them. So let's pick a slice theme. Notice how my colors here changed as well, my theme colors. So it'll change the options you have available to you when you change the theme. If you choose the wrong theme, then your color scheme will change and you won't have access to the correct colors that you need if you're doing something. We have page borders. Remember, just going into page borders and telling it and changing colors and everything does not change your border. You have to tell it what kind of setting you want. Do you want a box setting, a shadow, 3D, or do you want to customize it somehow? We're going to do a simple box, make it 1.5 point. We'll do a purple. Okay, we've added a box. You can go into page colors, and in page color you can change the color and have a page background. You also have the option to hyperlink. If you need to get to the navigation pane, you're going to click View and click on the navigation pane. This is the same thing you get when you click Find. So if you're looking in Find, you get the same thing. We'll use that in a little while. You may want to bookmark something. Usually you do that in a larger document. To do a bookmark, you put your cursor where you want to bookmark. You go to Insert. So when you want to do a bookmark, you put your cursor at the beginning where you want to mark it. You would go into Insert, and you would go into Bookmark. You would give it a name. Hyperlink. Hyperlink is used when you want to give them something else that they can click on in a document. You're going to send the document electronically. You have different options when you click Hyperlink, also located in the Insert tab. You can go to an existing file or web page, which means I could have it click on I can click on it and have it go to a file on my computer. I can have it go to another place in the document. So if I had a multiple page document, I might want to have it go to a certain bookmark. I can create a new document and have it go there. I can add an email address. Most likely you're going to want it to go to a web page. When you do it, it's going to change and underline whatever you hyperlinked. If you go into References, this is where you would insert an endnote or a footnote. You're going to want to put your cursor at the end of the line you're marking. Then you will click. And then you can tell it if you want an endnote or a footnote. If it's a footnote, below the text or bottom of the page. Endnotes are generally at the end of the document. You can do it at the end of the section. You can change the numbering, moving text. Let me get into this. Okay, let's say you want to add a quote. You would go to the end of the line where you want to put it. You probably would want to hit enter just to give it a space to put it on. In this, you're going to go into building blocks. Remember, building blocks is under quick boxes, or you can go into text box. Both are under the insert tab. So you go to text box, and they will give you the different kind of quotes you have option to. So we're going to do a wisp quote. You put it here. Now I want to take this quote down here and move it into the box. Better way to do this is to cut and paste. When you paste, you have keep text only, which will make it look the way the box was designed. Merge, which will do the same thing. If you keep source formatting, it'll make it look like it was in your document. How to do a macros. If you go into macros, you can go into view. You have a macros. Macros are little instructions that you're going to give, and you would record the instructions you want to use quite a bit in the document. So you would go and click record. For the most part, you're only going to want to apply it to this document. You could write a little description telling what it is if you wanted to. And you would do this for something you do a lot. So we're going to record a macros. Recording a macros is not that hard. You would go into view. You would go into macros, which is under view. And you're going to go into record. And you would give it a name. We're going to name this one Video 1. You could give it description. You can assign it to keyboard shortcuts and stuff. We're not going to do that. Once you have a name, and we want this only to go to this story, we're going to have it go to just this, and click OK. Notice how you have this little thing that looks like a tape. Now you basically go in and tell it what you want. Color. When we're done, you go into view and you stop recording. Now, why would we do this? If you do it right, you can then go into your navigation pane, and we're going to change all the words that say video. We're going to search. And what we're going to do is we're going to highlight every single case. And actually, I'm going to just do these three to show you what it does. And then you're going to go back to macros, and you're going to view macros. Pick the one you want and run. Now notice how it changed those videos to do what I wanted it to do. So remember, you have styles. You can go in and make it a title. If you want to, you can modify. You have a little arrow down here to modify the title. So if we wanted to modify it, we could name it, would be named title. Let's say we want to do, could even go into format the font, and okay. And if we click OK, it updates it. This part of the title. And everything you do with that will be that. So if you want to modify one of the styles, that would be the way you modify a style.